This is Art Talk with April, Season 5. This season, we're talking with some return artists from previous seasons and some new artists, some people that are just starting out, and some gallery professionals. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Art Talk with April. Today, I have Ashish Chancellor, and she's an artist. Where are you located at today, Ashley?
I'm in Birmingham right now.
Awesome.
I'm all over the place. I did have a studio in Avondale, but, moving on to new things, still looking for a studio. So I'm sort of nomadic in all ways right now.
Wow.
But, yeah, I'm in Birmingham. I'm coffee right now.
Awesome. Well, thank you for talking to me today. I think this will be really interesting to get to know you as you're the fart fairy, so to speak.
Yes, I am. Side.
I like that. Did you make that?
I did. This is a piece of my artwork that I'm trying to sell.
Awesome. Oh, that's so cool. I love that. I love the color. Yeah. So how long have you been an artist? Like, is this something that you started as a child, or
it is?
How did it come about?
My Nana, my dad's mom, has been doing art, my whole life. And I mean, she taught me how to shade. I say this to every interviewer who's interviewing me. She taught me how to shade the puffy sleeves in Snow White's dress.
Yeah.
I was in my coloring. I mean, I've been doing art for a very long time, on and off, in between life. Yeah. Never really worked hard, like super hard to make it a profession, because my main profession, at least my primary source of income, because my time has always been partitioned by multiple events going on. So I'm kind of just going with the flow and seeing where things take me.
Yeah, that's awesome. So did you go to school for any art or specialty, or are you self-taught?
I'm pretty much entirely self-taught as an adult.
Awesome.
I mean, art class, history, like stuff like that in high school. And I did an independent study my senior year.
That's cool.
But other than that, no, in high school, I don't have anything past high school. I just have high school experience.
Wow.
So I get 4 years.
I kind of feel like I went to college, but I feel like it was a crutch. Like I needed something to make me do something, like to keep going. And I think that people who are able to stick with it, keep going like that without, I don't know, people giving them assignments or projects and things like that is amazing.
It was an outlet for me, I think, without realizing it as I was growing up. And I was just really drawn to people and their faces. So I've been doing portraits for a long time. I was tracing animations really early, and I wanted to be an animator, but mom didn't really encourage that. In the early 2000s, it was really common for women from my hometown, and really just in general and my peers, for them to pursue nursing. And so I was really into science and the medical field, growing up. Like I loved anatomy and things like that. So it wasn't hard to go in that direction, but I still found myself doing art in class, and that, like drawing the bones. And, I just always found a way to be artistic in whatever I was doing. So I guess that's, translated and, sort of transitioned me into my adulthood and the professional side things that I do with my art practice.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, because, I mean, you do a lot of the portrait stuff, like you said, and really you got to know anatomy to do as well as you're doing with it and everything. You're really good. And I've been loving the, like the sketchbook stuff, like the portraits with is it ink, and what are you using to color those?
Micropigment ink. It's the little micron pens.
Wow, really?
I like those. I always have. Yes, that is a sketchbook that I'm still working on, and it's for the Brooklyn Art Library.
Oh, yeah.
Sketchbook that's there in New York, and it's the largest sketchbook archive and library in the world. And I did 2 projects. I'm still working on that one. Get to pick a theme, and my theme I picked was people I wish I knew. And
Wow.
those are all drawings of, people and influences I wish that I knew.
Yeah.
And then the other one was the tiny sketchbook project, which I love tiny things. So I did a little tiny sketchbook, and it got sent off in a little suitcase in Europe and toured Europe as a sketchbook, little library in Europe. Yeah. So it was pretty cool in a little tiny truck.
What?
Yeah. I don't remember the year
love
now, but because chronologically I'm not thinking about the year right now, but yeah, that was a cute little project that I did. You can see that some of that on my Instagram.
Oh, that's cool, because I love the tiny sketchbook thing too. I think it's really interesting. Like, people are doing these teeny tiny little, like, how do they do that? Did you find those projects online and apply to be in them, or how did that come about?
Through Instagram. I found it through Instagram. But I'm gonna finish it. And then I paid extra to have it digitally archived so that you can go visit it without having to go actually to the library to check it out. Because that's what you do. You go to the sketchbook library and they have little barcodes on the side, and you just scan, you scan the barcode and you pull one out. There's even like some of them almost look like pop-up books, like you can really, they've gotten a little bit more strict because I think that they're, maybe running low on space, especially some of the thicker ones, like I said. But some of the pop-up looking ones are really cool. You can check them out. It's the Sketchbook Project.
Oh, wow.
On Instagram. That's how I found out.
So, like, do you have, so are you doing any kind of way of selling your work, or you have like shows?
Well, I don't have a place where you can buy it online. It's really just my Instagram. Like, you could message me on either one of my Instagrams, either my personal or my professional page, and I will, name a price. I have in my highlights where you can look at things that I have on sale in my stories. It says story sale. So that's a good place to check out some of my stuff that's on sale. It's just better when you can go straight to the picture and then, just DM me, because, not everybody can afford things now. So I'm willing to bargain with people. I know what it's like to struggle and not have access to things like art, and we need that. So we need art.
We do.
I know how boring life is without art. So, and all the many forms it comes in, and how therapeutic it is, even eye-opening, thought-provoking, So
Absolutely.
that's one of the reasons why I started free art. So to make art more accessible.
So how did you get started doing that? Like, how did that come about?
Well, I knew I needed to do something to sort of get myself out there, because I'd only been donating to charities and things like that, and going to charity events. And that was kind of how I was networking myself, through charity events.
Yeah.
And I suggest that to any new artist. It's really awesome. Like, all sorts of nonprofit organizations are always looking for artwork to auction off for fundraising. Really interesting to see, someone fight over your art, or, because they're in a pig war, or it was a really great avenue for me to sort of open myself up. However, I still felt stuck as an artist. Like, I didn't really know how to monetize myself. Like, I didn't have a business sense. I didn't go to college to even get a tiny smidgen of that for art. I did for, my main career, which I started and left, which is massage. But my artwork, I kind of felt stuck. So I was like, I know I need to do something. And I noticed on Instagram, I was on there all the time studying social media, how to market myself, literally anything I could do. And I stumbled upon Tiny Doors Atlanta. Tiny Doors Atlanta is ran by Karen Anderson. She's the main artist and curator. She's extremely popular. I suggest you guys check her out. Incredible. She even partners with Reese Witherspoon in some of her stuff. I found Tiny Doors. She just creates these. She's a miniature artist, and she creates these little doors, and they're all over Atlanta, Georgia, around the Beltline. in different parts of the city. And so I reached out to her because I was like, hey, I'd love to do something like this in Birmingham, and I had, like a little meeting with her, and she was like, this is my project. And I thought she like had a whole team, and, I just had no idea the ins and outs of it. And I thought that I could either mimic it somehow or bring it to Birmingham, partner with her, have it come to Birmingham. She's like, no, this is just something local. It's really difficult to keep all these things up, so I have to stay local. But then she told me about Free Art Fridays. And she said, have you heard of Free Art Fridays? And I said, no, I have not. So then I go researching that. And she said, go research Free Art Friday and see where it takes you. And here I am now, the curator of Free Art Bham. We just grew up to 4,500 followers, I think, since July of 2018.
Wow.
And that's all organic. And I learned about the Free Art Project, and at first I didn't want anybody to know about me. I mean, I didn't. Like, I named the Fart Fairy was like my persona that I was kind of hiding behind, and then I kind of got outed by local digital publishing, and then on accident they actually they didn't realize that I was trying to remain anonymous because they didn't come interview me. Had they come interview me instead of just writing about me, they would have known that I was trying to stay anonymous. But then I got outed. And so now I'm just sort of leaning into the fact that everybody knows that I'm the Fart Fairy now. So
yeah, it's fun.
It's not my project. So that's why I was kind of like hiding behind Fart Fairy. And then I thought, Fart Team, then I can just create people that are coming in and out. I mean, we still kind of do that anyway. But Fart Queen is my curator. You know her, Evan. I think she's done an interview with you last year, maybe, I think. Yeah. Becoming my best friend. We love doing the project together. She runs the one here in Birmingham while I'm still working on getting the one in Panama City Beach going. But she stalked me, hunted me down, wanted to become part of the project. And so she hopped on and we've kind of been unstoppable since then.
Like the whole concept of it is really cool, and I love how you guys are doing it and everything. I guess it's like a national thing.
It's a global art movement, and we're actually the only ones on the globe that work the way we do. We actually curate for the artists, so we have them drop their artwork off at Alabama Art Supply. And then one of us goes pick it up, and then we drop 3 pieces every Friday. Last Friday is our Friday off. Sometimes they move around during the month because, I have kids. She's a single mom. So, we have to work it around our schedule. And this is all, a volunteer. Like, we don't get paid for any of this. I've had one fundraiser in, I guess I don't know how many years I've been on now. I guess it's been 6.
Wow.
6 years. This July will be 6 years. So we've been going that long. So
that's amazing.
It works. We're the only ones that grab the art for the artist and put it out there for them. Like most other little chapters, that's what they call them, chapters that are all over the US here. They just document artists putting their free artwork out. You know what I mean? And then they reshare whatever they do, rather than us actually doing it for them, like, and having a team that does it. You know what I mean? But so that's kind of how that works. It started in London, England by a mural artist named My Dog Size, and he's trying to figure out how to, get his artwork off of the wall as a mural. Yeah. So he just started painting on recyclable products like cans and smashed cans. And then he started documenting them, picking them up. And then it just kind of gained popularity, through the hashtag free art, and came from London, England over. And there's all little chapters everywhere. But we're really excited to do it the way we're doing it. We try to get the community involved. Like, we get Birmingham Mountain Radio involved, Happenings in the Ham. They are huge supporters and best friends of ours. We love them, Amber and Russell. I'm sure you're familiar with them.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Happening in the Ham, you need to be following all of the events that are, going on around town that are free or very.
I love it. I mean, I think anything that we can do to get art out there and people interested in it and having fun and like trying to figure out where things are and, connecting people. Because I guess, are you guys, the way that you kind of choose your locations, are you like choosing specific locations for specific
day? Like a lot of our stuff is super spontaneous and impulsive and last minute.
Nice.
So I think it kind of helps the mystery of it all too, not knowing where she's going to be, it's fun.
Yeah, I feel like if you planned it too far ahead, then people might, kind of give away.
Tell people about or if we're launching a new chapter, which just happened in Panama City. We actually had a local indie band, Juco. They came down and they're out of Birmingham. They're based in Birmingham, and they came down and they helped us launch down in Panama City. And so we have a couple of artists who are doing it down there. I'm still looking for somebody to curate when I'm not down there. But yeah, it's been really cool, the dynamic of all that. And our locations are just, they're decided last minute. Like I said, it just really helps with the mysteries. But we are having a fundraiser in December, and there's going to be a auction. It's going to be just like the one we had in 2019.
Yeah.
Right before COVID hit. So we're still looking for a venue, and all the details around that will be, announced later. So
yeah, that's fun.
It's going to be cool. We always have art themed things because that's our hashtag, Art Bham. So
yeah, I just love it. I think it's so awesome that you guys are doing that, and you're doing it on your own time, your own energy to, get it out there. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Especially for the art community, Do you have any events that you're doing with your art specifically?
Not right now. I'm sort of taking a hiatus.
Yeah.
I've been nomadic lately. For reasons I won't disclose, but, life takes you in different places. And so I've been nomadic recently. And so my studio is where I am. And, I'm not really doing any shows right now, just trying to make sure free art keeps going. And I've got some commissions on hold right now. So I'm not taking commissions, but I do have art that I've already made for some.
Hey, I'm all about it. Like, I feel like every once in a while you just need to take a break. My
hands need a break.
Yeah.
They are working for me very well right now. My hands. They've been, but I'll bring it around. I've been, doing some sketches, not every day, but it's kind of emotional for me because I take my art practice very seriously, especially my portraits. It's sort of intimidating when you've done all these great portraits and your hands don't work for you. And, you're trying to make a portrait look like a person and they ordered, it's emotional. So I've been trying to work on getting my craft back, bits and pieces here and there in my sketchbook. So I just started back, I haven't sketched in a really long time. Like it's been probably since Christmas since I've sketched anything. I worked on an old commission for a minute and I just couldn't do it. My hands weren't working for me. My trimmers are too bad, but I'm going to get them back. I'm going to get them back.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you will. I think you have that passion for making that you're just it's going to happen. You know?
It will. I'm just giving myself some time and grace is all.
So how do you go about choosing the kinds of projects that you do as far as I know I saw that you were doing some abstract stuff and then you've got your portraits and the sketchbooks and things.
Yeah, it's more my emotional side. I'm emotional and I can't be technical. That's where my abstract practice comes into play. So like this right here, I wasn't able to work. I was in the middle of a portrait commission and couldn't finish. My best friend passed away. And then I made a whole series about her. This actually I painted was as a backdrop for a church that I used to attend for Mother's Day a few years back. And then I kind of created, because it looked like a cloud, even though I was imitating something else, a technique, a dripping technique. They just it looked like a big rain cloud to me. So I just kind of went with it, and I used rain clouds and the metaphors of the description, used the descriptions as a metaphor for my grief and sort of created about 6 or 7 pieces outside of this big one here. And man, I gave a few of those to charity, but one of them to free art. And I still have this one and a longer piece that I'm trying to sell right now. But yeah,
Wow,
I was very
amazing.
that was when I realized, because I never related, I could never make abstract art. I was too technical and too much of a perfectionist. Like I wanted to perfect portraits and realism, you know what I mean? And still life, how to draw my environment, studying shapes and color theory, you know what I mean? Like on my own as an independent study. But I knew then, you know, that's what brought my abstracts out. Like I knew then that was when I was going to have to do abstracts, was when I was emotional. Like it would be a good outlet away from the more technical stuff, you know. So
sure,
I'm working on an abstract series right now that's going to have marine life, and awesome. I am planning an event, but it's nowhere near. I'm manifesting it at this point.
Yeah.
There is no date or time or anything. I'm hoping it'll be next year, but we'll see. It's going to be surrounded. It's going to be like abstracts, portraits, and marine life all put in one. Because I spent some time in Florida for about 3 years. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I was a tomboy, and I'm my dad's only daughter.
Yeah.
So he took me fishing, 3-wheeler riding, like outdoor. I'm an outdoors person. I mean, obviously I'm outdoors today. I have to be outside to recharge. I'm an introvert for the most part, but kind of push myself to be an extrovert.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to be recharged in nature. And so I'm planning on having maybe another exhibit or something like that. Like I had, because I did have one in Fairfield before I left to go to Florida. It was the biggest. I mean, I took up the whole space at Stephen Smith's Fine Art Gallery in Fairfield, in Alabama. But yeah, it's going to kind of be like that again, except for it's going to be marine life and all that. And it's going to be Silent Anguish 3.0.
That's
just got
cool.
2.0, and this will be Silent Anguish. Silent Anguish is just, you know, things that you go through that people don't know about.
Yeah.
Really just that's what that's about. It's what it's about.
Wow. I love that. That sounds amazing.
Thank you.
And I really empathize with the idea of like being more of a technical kind of artist and trying to like draw things you see versus being more expressive. And I often think maybe I should be doing that, you know, because like sometimes I get way too worried about the details and I don't even know if any of that matters, you know, and like trying to like express yourself or say something, you know.
It just always happens, you know, like it's not even something that I planned. You know, like usually I just end up sort of translating for myself, like sort of being my own docent. And I've even had ghostwriters, you know, write as far as like what a description of a portrait. The description was on the back and it was called the procrastinator because I tend to procrastinate. That was back whenever I wasn't really so gentle on myself about practicing art and when I was doing it and having commissions and deadlines because I'm not great with deadlines. I'm ADHD. I just got recently diagnosed with ADHD last year. So been dealing with that.
Yeah.
And I started being a lot more gentle with myself after I learned that. And I had that diagnosis because it really gave me a little bit more room to understand why I wasn't good at deadlines. And, you know, or it wasn't that I wasn't good at it. It was just the thing that I did, you know. So that's another reason why I'm kind of closing my commissions. But I probably won't do commissions and like unless they'll give me complete free reign on a deadline and complete free reign on creativity. So
yeah, I hear you on that. That's what I ended up doing is because I was like, guys, I don't know when I'm going to get this done. I'll take your commission, but you got to be open to me just kind of doing it when I can. And if people really want your art, they'll do that. They'll be like, okay, you know, like well,
it definitely shows you who your audience is for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you have any advice for people who are, trying to get into art, or maybe even people who are, um, self-taught and, trying to get into the art community and that kind of thing?
Make art anyway. If you're questioning it at all, it doesn't matter what it looks like, just make it anyway. And if you don't like it, there's practices that you can do. If you don't like what your work looks like when it's done, one of those practices is free art. You can drop it off at Alabama Art Supply, and we'll put it out for you, and somebody will love your art, even if you don't. And it's very therapeutic. So if you're going through something, get a rage sheet out and just rage on there. Art is interpretive in all different ways, and that's what abstracts are mainly about. And I would say, don't limit yourself as an artist. Don't put yourself in a box if you feel like you need to.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, try not to put yourself in a box. Unless you feel, because that was something I struggled with. I didn't feel like I had an art signature, like I couldn't go one direction or the other, and I had to choose. And portraits are hard. That's hard. Yeah, portraits are very hard. People don't realize how hard portraits are.
They are.
Portraits used to take years. People would pass away before their portraits were done back in the day.
Yeah.
We're only doing oil painting. And that is the truth. Like, I had to do some deep research to make myself okay with not meeting deadlines.
Yeah.
I really had to do some research. So I would just say, do research, talk to other artists. Don't be afraid to talk to other artists and, artists who've been through things, because I've learned a lot from other artists, and I love watching artists grow that I've helped. So don't be afraid to get yourself out in the community, as hard as it is, because a lot of artists are introverts. I know, as one, I can tell you, just don't give up on your art practice. If you feel something inside you that moves you to do it, just do it. Don't try to attach, society's pressure, or even pressure from within yourself. We are our own worst enemy.
I think what you said is really, really huge, because I think we do that as artists. I feel like we're so sensitive. We're sensitive people, and we have so many emotions around things, and are typically introverted, that we're wanting to express ourselves, but we can also be really pushed around by society and culture, and like people kind of forcing their ideas of what we should do onto us.
I know, we definitely do.
And
we roll that into art and make it our narrative, and then our pressure just spirals from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you have any
pressure? Yeah, for sure.
Do you have any like favorite artists that you'd like to share?
Yeah. I was going to share one of my portraits I did of Steve. He goes by Steve-O. He's also Steve-O Black. He's a DJ. He does some amazing work. He does the blackface art. He's one of my favorite artists. And
that's cool.
I also brought, that's my portrait of him, by the way. Yeah. I don't have any of his artwork, but definitely check him out.
Yeah.
And then I also have some of Harst's work. He is my other favorite artist in Birmingham, and I have quite a few of his works. Not all of them are with me, but his latest stuff that he's given me is pretty cool. He puts literally on everything. One of my favorite pieces was a smashed can. These are on music. He's painted on music.
Oh.
I've got some of it framed. Like, some of this is really cool.
Yeah.
On the back. Yeah, he's a really cool artist, and he does a lot of collaging stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I love that. That is so cool.
He does really great paintings. I love all of his stuff. I mean, he decorates his envelopes. Really great. I love all his stuff. Like, I have a couple of his larger pieces. They're just not with me right now, but yeah, they're my favorite local artist. I would say my favorite artist ever would probably be Kusama. She's a Japanese artist and has an exhibit that's touring. I don't know if it's still touring or not, but she is amazing. I can never say her first name right, so I won't even try. But I went to her Infinity Mirrors exhibit in Atlanta for my birthday, maybe about 7 years ago. And it was one of the most amazing experiences, and it changed my life as an artist. It was how I envisioned, I was able to envision myself having an exhibit, whereas before I would have never thought that. I mean, when I was doing art as a child, I never even thought that I would sell any of my art. I was just making it for, like gifts and, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. And then that's how I was practicing. I wasn't, trying to be an artist, like professionally. So it was huge. That was huge for me.
Yeah, I think I remember that exhibit. I think I remember that going on because I thought, man, I want to go.
Her paintings are amazing. So, like, she does polka dots and dots on everything, and she's used art to sort of desensitize herself from her trauma and separate herself from her trauma, which is something I can relate to. And then I'd say my second one would be Mab Graves.
Yeah, I love her. Yeah.
Mab Graves is one of the most, I don't even know words to describe her. And she suffers from endometriosis, which I do too. So it's another, I just relate to artists who have some sort of disability. So Frida would be one that's passed away that I would relate to. And so those are some of my favorite artists, big names.
Yeah. I think it's really cool too. I mean, I think when you can see yourself in another artist and appreciate their work, it kind of gives you that feeling of like, wow, I can do this too, like this is something that I have that I can like give to the world as well.
It gives you hope.
Yeah. You're like, okay, that person can do it. I'm like, Frida, gosh, she went through a lot. And if she could do it, those are great artists to mention.
Yeah,
that's
she's
awesome.
one of the ones I've yet to draw in my sketchbook, but she's going in my sketchbook.
Yeah.
In that sketchbook.
Yeah, she would be a really wonderful one. Well, where can people find your art? And also, where can people, which you said your Instagram, but where can people get involved with free art in Birmingham and Panama?
Yeah, you can go to www.freeartbham.com and you can join the movement there. You can just fill out, there's a little form you can fill out and it'll email us and let us know. Or you can just message us on Instagram on the Free Art Bham page and let us dropping off at Alabama Art Supply, because that's all you got to do to join is just let us know you're dropping it off. Make sure your handles and stuff are on there. If you have any questions about what you need to do, you can always ask us there. We will respond within 24 hours. My artwork, like I told you, it's just going to be on Instagram. I mean, I've got some of my stuff on because Free Art Bham actually sits on my website, my smoothmellowart.com website. That's smoothmellowart.com if you want to read like my bio and things like that. Yeah. And sometimes I'll have, art events that are posted on there. So my website's a very good place to visit. But if you want my recent stuff and follow me daily, I would definitely suggest Instagram. I am on there all the time.
Awesome. So people can just reach out to you and say, I love this. I want it.
Yep.
And then you'll be like,
now, none of the art that is on the free art page would be for sale. Obviously, all of the art you see have already been put out and somebody's grabbed it. But you're welcome to visit those artist pages, like underneath the photos of the art. Down there will be their Instagram handle or a way that you can reach out to them if you're interested in them as well. So it's been amazing. The artists that have joined the movement, how much they've grown since I've known them since I first moved to Birmingham. It's been pretty incredible watching people grow. I love that. Probably more than anything is watching the artists grow and then watching the collectors even grow. I mean, because we had like a 5-year-old and now she's like, she was Miss Teen Alabama or something like that, I think, at one point.
So you're seeing people grow up.
It kind of makes me feel old.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, it is. It's really awesome. I'm happy that you joined the movement, and we brought some of your art down to Florida. So that's really awesome too. And letting people know that, we'll put your art anywhere. Evan, the Fart Queen, is in Atlanta, and she dropped a piece, today. I think it was today before she left. So
that's awesome.
We're trying to get people's artwork out there too, not just,
Yeah. That's so fun. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today. It has been great meeting you and learning all about your art, your practice, and everything.
Yeah,
really
it's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I've enjoyed the interview thoroughly.
Thank you for listening to Art Talk with April. New episodes are out every Tuesday at 6 p.m.